Yurarka, Azui, I need you both to distract the monster while I work on something, Momo said as she used a shield to block some of the toxic sludge that was shot at her by the dragon. Just don't damage your suits. If even the slightest hole opens up, you could die. Urarka, try not to use too much of our power. Why can't things ever be easy? Urarka bemoaned. She charged forward, running over the surface of the water. Before flicking an air bullet at the monster's face, not doing any real damage, but annoying the beast enough to get its attention. Rah! The dragon roared, as he let out a stream of poison from its mouth down at Ochako, which she dodged by continuing to run across the surface of the lake. Meanwhile, Sue had jumped onto the monster and started climbing around, looking for a weakness. It's really hard to keep my grip while in this suit, Azui thought as she grabbed tightly onto the scales of the beast. Ochako jumped onto the edge of the lake, grabbed one of the dead trees, and picked it up, before running back on the water. The dragon shot more of its sludge from its mouth at her, but Ochako was able to dodge each shot and stream of sludge and get closer to the dragon. It opened its mouth to shoot more sludge, but Ochako jumped up and threw the tree into its mouth. Gah! The dragon choked a bit as the tree entered his mouth, but before it could spit it out, Ochako jumped up and punched the tree into the dragon's throat. Ack! The dragon continued to choke on the tree, which was now lodged in its throat. It wildly thrashed its head about, trying to do anything to get the tree out of its throat, but all that did was crush and break apart the tree, and the broken pieces got lodged into the sides of his throat. Unfortunately, all that thrashing made it really hard for Sue to keep her grip, and she was thrown off the dragon and fell into the water. Thankfully, the suit protected her from the extremely poisoned water, but she was far too close to the thrashing dragon for comfort. In fact, she was close enough to spot something. Its underside, which was hidden underwater, had no protective scales. Its underside has no scales, Sue said via her in-suit communicator, as she swam away from the dragon. Thank you. Urarka, can you expose its belly? Momo asked over comms. I can try, but it won't be easy, Ochako said. Ochako ran away from the thrashing dragon and stopped on the edge of the lake. All right. Time for a trial by fire. Urarka aimed her hand at the dragon's neck. Black whip. Black energy whips shot out of specially made openings in her suit and wrapped themselves around the dragon's neck. Ag. Urarka struggled against the power of the dragon, and as such, increased the power of her full cowling. Ha! She pulled the dragon towards her, lifting the dragon out of the water a bit, and exposing its belly. Momo, whatever you're going to do it now. All right. Thank you, Urarka, Momo said, aiming the rail gun she'd been making, right at the dragon's belly. Crack-a-cum. The railgun fired out its long sharp rail right at the dragon, the shot so powerful the sound resonated throughout the entire forest. The rail went right through its belly, all the way through its thick body, and the tip poked out of its scales, before stopping completely. Kaboom! The rail exploded, the explosion so powerful that it plowed through its insides, and fire poured out of its mouth, nose, and eyes, destroying its eyeballs and teeth. Once the explosion died down, smoke billowed out of those holes, and the dragon went completely limp. Then it started to fade away. Its body quickly turned into black smoke and vanished into the wind, leaving only the dragon ball behind, which fell into the lake with a plop. Its body turned into smoke. It looks a lot like one of Yami's Grimm. Ochako noticed, before focusing on the dragon ball, floating in the center of the lake. And what's that ball? Ochako ran forward over the water, grabbing the ball as she went by, and rejoined Momo and Sue. Well, it appears to be dead. But what on earth was that? Momo asked. Did someone make it with their quirk? That's most likely what happened, but why? Sue asked. What does anyone get out of poisoning a lake in a small town? Hayu, the superheroes are here to save the day. The three looked up and saw the gammas fly down towards them, before landing next to them. Let me at him. Where's the dragon? Gamma 2 shouted, looking around for the threat. It looks like they already beat them, Gamma 1 said, staring at Uraraka intensely. And look what she has in her hand. Gamma 2 did so, and his eyes widened when he saw the dragon ball. Oh, crap. It's as we feared, Gamma 1 said, as he reached out for the ball, which Uraraka gave over to him. A shadow dragon. Shadow dragon? Sue repeated. You know what that creature was? Momo asked. Was it a Grimm? Ochako asked, looking both confused and determined at the same time. As if she was waiting for an explanation she wouldn't like. A Grimm? You mean those things that Midoriya makes using one of his son's quirks? Momo asked, looking even more confused. Come to think of it, it did fade away just like one of Yami's Grimm, Sue noted. But why on earth would Midoriya make a dragon to poison a lake in your hometown? That doesn't seem like Midoriya at all. You're right, Director Midoriya would never do something like this. Gamma 1 explained. This was the work of an altered Grimm. An altered Grimm? Ochako repeated. Grimm that has been altered by method, usually involving fractals. Gamma 1 continued. The vast majority of these Grimm are fully sentient, and as such Yami can't control them. And among these creatures are a batch of creations called the Shadow Dragons. You see, while Director Midoriya and head researcher may always try to prioritize safety in the lab, there's a reason why they decided a place like Angel Island needed to exist, and why they've been prioritizing it so much. Gamma 2 explained. It's because of the shadow dragons. 7 fractals were filled with negative energy and left to fester. Gamma 1 continued. Eventually, they started to gain sentience, and the fractals turned into balls, with stars inside of them. They absorbed negative energy, much like Yummy does, and eventually, they accumulated enough energy to escape and take physical form. They're all very powerful, and 2 out of the 4 that we've found are confirmed hostile. How many of them have you captured? Urarika asked nervously, trying to process all this information. Technically just this one, Gamma 2 said. But we have 2 of them under heavy surveillance. And the last one? Sue asked. Gamma 2 sighed. Sin's current location is unknown. So let me get this straight, Momo said, sounding both concerned and somewhat terrified. There are 4 extremely powerful dragons just roaming the country, all of which could be hostile, and you have no idea where they are? That would be correct, unfortunately. Gamma 1 sighed, before looking down at the ball. We're currently trying to find a way to track them, but it's not going well. Negative chaos energy itself is composed of lots of different chaos energy signatures, so right now our detectors can't tell the difference between a shadow dragon and a large group of people. Gamma 2 explained. And tuning it to try and scan negative chaos energy is a no-go, since it technically exists everywhere, just not in a physical form. So we have to find a way to detect manifested negative chaos energy. I see. Ochako frowned. Suddenly, a portal opened behind them, and Izuku came out, wearing a suit similar to theirs. I am so sorry. Izuku immediately got on his knees and apologized. I'm so sorry that this all happened. Ochako frowned. Izuku, I don't blame you for this. The whole thing was a terrible accident, and it seems like you're doing everything you can to make it right. Honestly, I don't know enough about the situation to pin blame, but since I know you, I'm going to assume this was more of a who could have known accident, Sue said. I agree with Azui. Please raise your Midoriya, Momo told him. For now, let's just focus on fixing the issue. We already killed the dragon, so how can we fix the lake? Oh, the dragon's not dead. Gamma 2 chimed in, causing the girls to quickly look at him in shock. Its body is just a construct. The real dragon, or I guess just its soul, is inside the ball. After it absorbs enough negative energy, it should be able to reform its body. But that won't be for a while. So are you going to destroy the ball? Momo asked. Izuku got up and shook his head. I considered it, however, if we can study it more, we might be able to find the other dragons. So I've decided to send this over to Angel Island. There it will be confined and studied, unable to hurt anyone outside the island. Now, as for the lake, in its current state, the damage is too severe to fix by normal means. Our only real option is to use the reset bomb and then scrub the area. That'll restore it to how it was, or at the very least get rid of the poison and allow us to work to get it back to how it was. That's good. Ochako gave a sigh of relief. She'd been worried that her beloved lake had been lost forever. So how long will that take? About a week, Izuku said. I'll put it on the high priority list. Consider it part of my apology. Young Carrie Shindo walked down a dirt path through the country, humming along happily to herself. The world is so beautiful, Carrie said as she looked around at the lush green fields and the vibrant blue sky. Don't you think so, family? Hundreds of screams replied from inside her. I think it's lovely, Carrie, said the 7-star ball in her head. I'm sure all the new friends we're going to make will love it too. Thanks, Bally, Carrie said with a smile as she skipped down the path. Until she noticed something. Huh? Up ahead was another kid, looking around her age. They had short brown hair with 2 bangs framing her face. They wore a pair of red shoes, brown shorts, a big blue winter jacket, and a red scarf, with a blue and white striped shirt underneath. And their eyes were also closed, yet she also somehow seemed to be looking right at her. Carrie also couldn't tell what their gender was. Howdy, the kid said with a friendly smile. Hi, Carrie greeted equally as friendly. You must be Carrie, right? The kid asked. Carrie gasped. I am. How did you know? Dr. Garamond has been watching you for a little while now, said a voice from behind her. Carrie turned around and saw someone nearly identical to the child in front of them. However, there were a few differences. While the child in front had tan skin, the child behind them had pale skin, except for the perma blush on their cheeks. They also wore the same shorts, but this kid's shirt was green and had light green stripes, along with a golden heart-shaped locket hanging around their neck. Their eyes were also wide open, revealing their blood-red color. Allow us to introduce ourselves. My name is Furusuku. The one in front was introduced. And their name is Kairakuta, but we just call her Kiara. We were sent by Dr. Garamond to bring you to him. Sorry, but I have somewhere to go, Carrie said with an apologetic bow. You see, I have some new friends I need to make to join my family. So I'm super busy. Yeah, busy eating people, we get it, Kiara said while rolling their eyes. But you see, the thing about that is, Kiara opened her hand, and suddenly a red energy knife formed inside it. And they gave her a very menacing smile. We weren't asking. They slashed the air in front of them, making a giant red energy slash that flew right at Carrie. Carrie's eyes widened, and she jumped to the side to avoid the attack, which was now heading right for Furusuku. But right before it could reach her, the attack vanished. Hey, that was rude, Carrie pouted. Kiara raised her knife. If you don't want to come, then shut up and fight. With that, she sent a few more energy slashes at her. Karia pouted harder and batted away the energy with her hands. You're a real jerk, you know. Fine. If you want to get in my way, then you'll just have to join my family too. Whoosh! With explosive speed, Karia lunged at Karia and tried to bite her, only for Kiara to kick her in the side of the face and send her flying to the right, skidding across the dirt and grass. Ah! Ow! 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 Karia pulled her head out of the dirt and rubbed her swelling cheek as tears started spilling from her eyes. That really hurts. Karia, are you okay? Here, let me make it better, said the 7-star ball in a panic. Suddenly the swelling healed, and all the pain vanished. Thanks, Bally, Karia said with a tearful smile. Slam! Kiara slammed her foot down on the back of Karia's head, mashing it into the ground so hard it made a crater. Slam! 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 Kiara continued to mash Karia's face into the ground with her foot, making the crater bigger and deeper each time, until she finally stopped. I think she's unconscious now, Furusuka said as she walked over to them. Kiara stepped off of Karia and picked her up by the hair. Her face was bruised and the Dragon Ball was cracked, and she was most definitely unconscious. TCH. That's all it took. Wasn't she supposed to be strong? She's just a little girl. She's not really a fighter, Furusuka explained. She probably doesn't even know how to use her quirks. I was hoping for more of a fight. Kiara sighed before she started dragging the girl away. Alright, let's just bring her to the doctor. Furusuka smirked. As you wish. Snap. And with the snap of her finger, they were gone.